All right, you guys, welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. I have a bit of an update for you all. I know I don't do daily videos, but I try to come in when the timing is right. And today feels like a good day to check back in on the markets, check in with you guys, and reassess, go back a little bit. Right here, we're looking at the chart of the SPY. You can see there's been a bit of a cup, little handle. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Wait, up, handle, interesting. Yeah, I'm bullish. I don't know if those are really cups and handles. You can't really say that, but the trend has been, it's been interesting because if you look at the last few days, let's zoom in on this. I see a lot of price rejection from underneath. 566, 567, just price rejection out of that region. So 570, I would even say potentially, yeah, I would say 570 because you have your Ichimoku and you have your 10-day moving average. 570 is really our support. And I think because we spent the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days determining if that was true or not, and it also lines up with the Tenkan-sen. I think tomorrow we break this parabolic SAR, and we have a very small MACD. We barely got. It's a strong market. I'm on the bullish side of things. On the daily, the RSI is not nearly cooked or anything. We had a bit of a turbulence, and we're getting really close to this parabolic SAR. Things are looking strong. We basically based here 570, and the next Fibonacci level is 585, which is not really that far at all. Let's take a look at percentage-wise what that would look like from here. 2%. Is that really that unrealistic? Especially with the last couple days that we've had, wouldn't be hard to do at all. So S&P continues to roll rock, in my opinion. But let's also, take a look at big picture here. These are monthly candles. Monthly candles, you can see, once again, price rejection from below. On a monthly level, 550 seems to be pretty well established. We are in the arc, and we're actually pushing out of the Gann arc. And that's what this is. This is a Gann arc, Gann square. So this is a Gann level, this one that comes straight across. This is a Gann angle. See how this works out perfectly, right? These Gann arcs, there's something special about them. But anyways, take a look at where the monthly candle is sitting. It's red, but it looks green to me, doesn't it? It looks like we are establishing this little line right here as support, and now we can push higher. And honestly, who knows? Like October, what if October's great? Right? I mean, what if October turns out to be a great month? No one's really expecting that, and oftentimes the unexpected is the thing that happens. So it might not be a straight line up, and it might end up looking like a doji at the end. Who knows? But I have a feeling we're moving higher. Now, the great thing about the SPY moving up is that means the Qs have a better chance of moving up. And you can see today, the NASDAQ rose 1.45%. Very strong. Usually, if the NASDAQ's doing really well, the S&P is going to be doing all right. If the S&P is doing all right, doesn't necessarily mean if the NASDAQ is doing well. The Russell is interesting. Let's take a look at the Russell next. So you see we have a pretty orderly drawdown to the Gann angle is what I see coming. You might touch the angle over here, might not happen the next month or even this month. But you do see that we've had smaller We may be bottoming here in the Russell in the short term. Now that I look at it, let's go into the weekly. Doesn't that look like, you know, like a pretty orderly descent down to like 215, something like that? I mean, this wasn't orderly, but the way that they closed and where the bodies are. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at the Heikin Ashis. That might give us a little. Aha! So nice. Okay, so you would. So next month, we got to see how the month ends. Like, we could have a pretty tight stop loss going into next month if things keep going well. This is make or break for the Russell. You'll see these are Heikin Ashi candles. If they have a lower wick, it means they're a little bit less strong, but you can see that up trends are in green, down trends are in red. This has no lower wick, which is great. Which is absolutely great. So in the bottom of this is at 214, just right about here, which is pretty close to the Gann angle. All right, so I just want to see how far away it is. 2%, and the Gann level is only 2.79%. Yeah, I got to say it's tempting to put a little in the Russell here, right? Now, one thing to never forget is my disclaimer. Trading is risky, and the content in this video is not financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion only, and this is how I would trade. And you're just kind of sitting in and hearing me think out loud is really what this is. So, but I do love you. If you haven't hit the like button, you should do that. It helps me out a ton. And your comments, of course, are appreciated to help me grow my channel. I'm at 96 subscribers, so if you could subscribe, that'd be great. And let me continue. So, yeah, and then you got the monthly Hankinson right here. This is not the worst place to enter. I mean, you know, typically for my stomach, you know, 3%, 5%, that's a pretty tight stop loss, and especially in this kind of scenario. And you could do that right below the Hankinson, and you could probably do like a key level. Yeah, 3 to 4%. So I just want to go into the weekly, take a look. You know, if we are going to enter, is this a good, you know, how are the Heikin Ashis looking? How is everything looking? So you have a reversal here, and then you have red here. So this could indicate to me that the Russell may have, especially if this ends red, I would wait to see if the Russell ends red, and then see if I can get the price closer to these support levels right here. This would have been the opportunity to do it. And you know what? Look at this. So 210, I like the Russell at like 210 to like 212. 210 to 212, I couldn't resist the Russell, but it's at 217 at the moment. And, you know, that's like 3.6% away. So we'll see how it develops, but what you have here is a reversal and then red. So that means a downtrend may be coming, and especially if this ends red with no upper wick, we could definitely see strong move south out of the Russell. So that's what I would be looking for there. But yeah, 210, if you see that this week, ooh, just know that Risky Ryan's buying. Okay, we've got the Qs. So we're still on the weekly Heikin Ashis, and you can see you can set a pretty tight stop loss right there. That's pretty good. 477.59. Let's go to the monthly. Love that. Go to the regular candle. Look at that. Yep. So it's trying to hold. It's basically establishing this trend line. Is this more like it? This might be more like it. It's definitely more like it. There we go. Okay. So I like that angle there. I'm going to color this yellow. Yeah, they're just kind of grinding higher, aren't they? Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, they're just kind of plugging along, really. Let's go to a daily. Yeah, you love to see it. I mean, I would not be surprised if this thing pops over, uh, or attempts to pop over, in the next week or two. And this has been my prediction for a while here. You're going to see the SPY, and the SPY has made new highs, right? It's up. Qs, which usually performs similar to the SPY, but it's more leveraged in a way. It just hasn't yet done that. And typically the Qs, when times are good, like they are, outperform the SPY. They're a little bit more volatile. They go down more when the SPY goes down. But anyways, moral of the story: this is divergence, so it needs to correct itself, revert to the mean. It's got to get to all-time highs, which are 3% away, and I feel like those are, I mean, basically guaranteed by the end of the year is what I'm thinking. And that, it's the beginning of the fourth quarter, 3, 6, 9, 12, so 3% a year. That's about what you would get with the SPY. I'm seeing that this could happen in the next month to 3 months, so that's about a market return on these Qs. So that's why, basically, like money, I don't know what to do with, but I do want allocated to the stock market. I'm putting it right here in the Qs for now because I just see that it will, before this whole move that we're on right now ends, like this is gonna make a new high, and I think we end up over this potentially by the end of the year. Could be like in December, right into the end of the year, we could pop up above this or something. But yeah, I see this moving higher is all I'm going to say. So the Qs look good, and it looks like we're in the beginning of an upswing, right? Let's take a look at the RSIs and everything on the Qs just to see. Oh yeah, look at this MAC. Look at this MACD. So it never even got a chance to go down. Like that's how strong this up move was. Like it was destined to keep going higher. You know what I'm saying? So 493 is where we want to look for the Qs, and 508 is the fib level that I have drawn. 508. So I'm going to actually put trend horizontal. It's a fib line. Okay. NVIDIA, where NVIDIA goes. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. You ready for this? You ready for this ride? Dude, NVIDIA's going to rip. Look at the chart. Like, it's happening. If you didn't notice, it's happening. Like, NVIDIA will not be outdone by China or something. I mean, and this is what the Qs could do, potentially. This is what the SMH could do, most likely. We've broken the downtrend line. Like, entirely broken the downtrend line. Like, this isn't even a debate anymore. NVIDIA's moving up. I mean, look at it. You take the very tops of the wicks of this downtrend line. And is that not definitive enough? And look, like it basically decided to stay in this Fibonacci channel, which I drew who knows how long ago. So yeah, NVIDIA is looking super strong. It's tempting to buy right here. It's so like obvious to me that, even if you get a couple days of red to bring it back right here, like you're gonna know, like you're gonna be in this fib channel, and we could be absolutely swinging up to 155, because that's where it looks like it wants to go desperately, and that is 16% away. And for a stock like this, that is not that far. just look at the way this thing moves when it moves. It's something to behold. Yeah, this downtrend line is broken. We are on our way, Jack. That is what's going on right there. Speaking of on its way, Meta. Wow. Just wow. Can this thing really climb at this rate? I mean, that's what it's doing, right? It's like committed to doing it. I mean, that's 6% between now and next month. If it can climb this in an orderly fashion between now and the end, and then you're looking at 6% return if it does what it looks like it's trying to do. Incredible. Microsoft had an interesting one here. It wants to stay up. I actually bought a share today. I mean, look at that. How could you not buy a share there? Cloud caught it. Cloud is catching it. It's going to get back above 422. It should not have gone below there. Crazy chart. I mean, this thing could absolutely fly. We didn't get up to 440 just for it to fall apart below this down here. I mean, that's ridiculous. So, no, this thing's got to come back up. And this looks like a bottom candle to me. So we'll see. We'll see where this thing goes. And we got earnings. The last earnings had a pretty death-defying drop. We were like down. Trying to think here. When was that? I think it was over here that it happened. But yeah, man, we were down in these 300s. Yeah, I just don't see it happening again. Palantir. 42.23 is where it's going to find some resistance, or 42. 42, it's going to find some resistance. Is it time to take profits on Palantir? Yeah, maybe. I mean, the move from here, like if you have enjoyed this entire move, or like even from here to here, the next here distance of here to here is not going to be as quick. And between now and earnings, do I think there could be a drawdown? Absolutely. Of course. I think we probably get into the arc and it just kind of curls down. So, but that's the thing. Like, do you really sell here? So, like 41.40, you sell and then you pick it up potentially 3% lower. No thanks. I don't want to be a part of that. So, like, do we think that it gets back down to 34.60? Sure, could do that. But I don't think so. I think this time is different. Like, look at how steep it's going. This thing absolutely could just shoot. So, like, yeah, you don't want to be overexposed to this name because it's a wild ride, but like you got to have enough that you're just like, well, I'm just going to hold on and, whatever. And, for me, it's like 1% of my retirement portfolio. And if this thing does what everybody says it's going to do, then it becomes 3 or 4%. Cool. And that 1% I have right now is all profit, thankfully. Like I had a 4 or 5% allocation to it to start the year and it did great. And so I took my profits. And then, it was just, it's tough to hold on to. It's a stock that's tough to hold on to, especially in your retirement account. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, having a little bit of exposure, you almost have to. This thing it's an important stock. Apple's in an interesting place. Seems trapped underneath this angle here. We got a fib level over here. It's a tough one to hold on to. I have a feeling this is one of those stocks that like when it moves, and when it doesn't, it does not. So, like I've already been in this thing for a couple months, 3 months. I haven't really gotten that like Apple level of return yet. And so I guess I just kind of hold on to it until that happens. Amazon, on the other hand, yeah, this thing is, why do you struggle? Why do you struggle? What do we think happens here? Probably some kind of trend. Yeah, something like that. So that's going to be our trend line up to the arc. So really, I mean, if you believe in this trend line I just drew, this would be the bottom. Not a bad place to pick up shares. You would set your stop loss, like right here, 180. Yeah, at like 180. So these Heikinashis have gotten smaller. We had a green candle today, so yeah, overall I like it. I like Amazon. I think it's gonna have a really good fourth quarter. I think that's coming. All right, SoFi. I'm so good at trading SoFi. Look at that. Well, it's because it just behaves so well. Just look at what it's done, like how it holds the Gann angles and levels, and the arcs. I mean, look at this. It's like a work of art. Like the way um, it obeys certain levels. And right now, this level that's like $8 is pretty well established. Could it come back down here one more time? For sure. Yeah, for sure it could. But if it were to come back down one more time, it would be a blessing, and something that I would pick up some shares if that were to happen. And to be honest, I think this thing wants to go to like 922, 910. Like it wants to get above this angle. And I think we're finally going to get that moment. Let's look at the monthly. Like, we have suffered enough, wouldn't you say? Suffered enough. Time for this thing to move up. And yeah, all this thing needs is a strong month. And we could be on the right side of this V formation here. And when something like that happens, I mean, it's not always a straight line up, but when it's up, it's up. You're going to get an opportunity to sell. You know what I mean? At a much higher price. Like just imagine had you picked up shares like right here, and then you waited 1, 2, 3, 4 months, you got your 80% gain, 70% gain. Meanwhile, all right. Yeah, SoFi, where's it going? I mean, look at it. Can that be cleaner? Could that be cleaner? And it's basically establishing $8 as its spot. We do have a lower low from this, but yeah, jury's out on it, of course. But I think we get up to this $12 by 2026. It's not even a hard call to make, and that's 38% away. It's a good return, I would say. And honestly, like, it could be a lot bigger than that. It could be a lot bigger than that. Really, just a return to where it was would be like $12. So yeah, within like a couple years, I would expect this to be at like $15 in a couple years. That'd be 82%. 82% in 2 years. It's 40% a year. It's crazy. But this is one of those, like, you're buying down here. It's going to be the next big bank. It's going to be the next major. Who even gives a shit? Like, what if it's the next major Wells Fargo's or something like that? But you're buying it when it's 3 years old. Down here, I mean, that's where I'm coming from on this. So, what other stocks should we look at here? There's some other big gainers here. How about Tesla? Well, Tesla, yeah, we'll look at Tesla. Tesla's got that big event. 245 is the GAN level that I am working with. And really, we want to get above 270. And if you get a chance after, like let's say that it moves up on 1010, so in a couple days, you want to see it establish 275 as support and not the top, not resistance. So like if you see it hit 290 and then it swings down to 270 something, 275, well then, then you're buying at support. But it could spike up to 275 and then come crashing down to like 215, 212. I mean, that's what we're talking about. This is a big monthly cloud, and we have not worked our way through it. And if you look at the weekly, we're barely holding on to this 245. So really, like we're just trying to establish that this is support and not resistance. Because if it's resistance, down we go. Down we go to 211. So really, I would not be buying here before 1010. And if there's a move down, I wouldn't buy until it hits like 212. Or it starts, yeah, probably not. I probably want to see it go down to 212 from here before I would buy. And then if it kept going down, I wouldn't buy again until 173. Then maybe I'd double down. Yeah, you do have earnings late October. Netflix had a big day today. It's on top of this arc, so it's just a matter of time now. And it's only 2.42% away, so it's trying for 750. So what's going to happen here? I do have a GAN angle at like 775. And if I'm not mistaken, like the next fib level is like 1,000. So this thing, I like Netflix. I like it as much as PayPal. Like PayPal's like $80 and we hope it gets to 100. This thing's like 721 and it's getting to 1,000. So that's why I like it. Hope that made sense. Okay. Shopify. Shopify is great on the Ichimoku. This is a good Ichimoku play, it looks like. And your price target's like 15% away. So I do like where Shopify's at. Really healthy looking chart, actually. Really healthy looking chart. Yeah, like it recovered from this, and now it's just moving. Love it. Should probably pick up some more Shopify. Speaking of picking up things, we're going to go to Nike. Now, Nike, I want to show you this because that doesn't show you nothing. This will. We're going to go to the monthly, 20-year. Okay. All right. I know I got a lot of clutter on here, but I want you to see. Do you see this golden line right there? And I think I'm going to readjust this. All right. So since 2009, price has never gotten below this yellow line right here. See that? And look where it's sitting at right now on the monthly. Sitting right on it. Buy it. Disclaimer. It's not financial advice, but like this is the time. I mean, like, look, confirmed. To me, anyways, to my eyes, like it went down. It said, "Oh, that was too much momentum." It shot back up, and then it said, "Well, I don't know," and it retested it, confirmed it. It's in the process of retesting it again, so it would not be very hard to set, a stop loss right here, or you just buy it on all the way down. This Nike, if you're buying Nike, like you're holding this for like a whole cycle. You know what I mean? Like 10 years. This is like a 10-year buying opportunity. Like if you buy Nike here, you do not sell it for 10 years unless it's just like you get like a 500% gain in 5 years or something crazy. Like maybe you should have a price target going in, but just looking at it and like looking at my my monthly chart. Oh shit. Here we go. Holy crap. I'm sorry. This must be miserable to watch. There we go. Yeah, just looking at this thing, like you are the definition of buying low. It can't really crash much more, can it? I guess it could. It absolutely could, but like my time horizon is like 2028. And we could be dealing with this. That's a 50% gain in 1, 2, 3, 4 years. It's not the worst. It's not the worst investment, especially when you're buying a company like Nike. And listen, if you're young watching this, like, and you think Nike's not cool, it'll be cool again. The brand has been around forever. It's like Ford. Ford ain't going nowhere. But yeah, look, we've basically double bottomed on RSI. I would not be surprised if you don't ever get to see a price lower than it is right now today. Could it come down here and test it again and keep moving lower? It could, but like if we don't go into a recession, and we're going to know this in the next like 3-4 months, then that means that Nike is going to be fine and like it's going to make money again and it's going to have easy comps and all that. So, I mean, 2028, I would honestly, I would be surprised if we weren't like up here and we have, you double whatever money it is. So that would be like a 20, 40, 60, 80% gain from here. Like, do we reclaim all-time highs in the next 4 years? That gives it a lot of time. And that would double your money in that amount of time. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So, yeah, I like this buying opportunity for Nike right here. Let's take a look at Costco. Okay. Okay. So, Cloud, Tengensen. Now we just got to reclaim Kijinsen. It probably just grinds higher, slowly, sideways, because it's already done all its work. It's just going to, consolidate and distribute. But that's how much it's worth. And it probably just stays there. That might even drop a little bit going into the next earnings. So I think it's going to be stuck in a range is what I think is probably the case. Could even ride this down. Who knows? But I don't think so. I think it stays above the cloud. Eli Lilly. Oh my God. Eli Lilly. Look at you. So earlier I was like, oh yeah, confirm the top of the arc. We are good to go. And then it collapsed into the arc and now it's, and it's just having trouble with this Kijinsen, I guess. But yeah, it's up and over this arc again. So I like that. I like that. We could see like, I wonder if like one of those flags is forming. You know what I mean? Those flags. Doesn't really look like it. Here, let us see. We'll draw it, and it ends up looking like it's holding that trend line. Then we'll know what's up. Yeah, I like that. Like if you wanted to trade this, I would probably probably just do use the Heikinashis, and you know, your stop loss would be like 890, and then just see if it just, you know, this is its time, because there was some good news with it. Forgot what the good news is. I'm a bad stock owner. Oops. But there's some good news on it today, and it's moving in the right direction. So it'll probably trade in this range again, or it might move right through it. We shall see. Spotify. Spotify, no. Okay, so Spotify might be trying to move down to the 354 level. 355. So I wouldn't be buying Spotify new shares until it would hit that at the very least. But I would mostly hope for it to pull down and hit 325 or 6, because then, you know, this is proven as a pretty strong support level. Like, it's, you know, we've held on to it for quite some time. Semiconductors. Love that. Wouldn't buy until it gets over 255 though for SMH. And Nvidia is just going to go fucking flying. Excuse my language. Let's check it. Let's check out Progressive, because these insurance companies. Oh, I see. Okay, so it just came down to retest the top of this arc. Couldn't even really touch it, and it looks like it's going to move higher. So 274 would be my price target for Progressive. Let's look at the daily. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, we'll see how the week ends with this one. Shark Ninja. The beast itself. Beast itself. Wow. Just a beautiful chart. I'm glad I got in down here. That's all I'm going to say. Like, this is a tough one to short, but, like, you know, it's like one of those, like, you buy it and then you're like, and then you buy the top or something, you know, like, it's just the way it moves. It's like, man, it couldn't keep going, could it? But it does. But it does. MasterCard creating a pretty tight formation here along the Tengen-sen, establishing Tengen-sen as support, and this Gann angle or Gann level at 490. I like MasterCard here. Not a bad place to add. Visa isn't a great place to add unless it breaks down. But yeah, Visa is holding on. Holding on to the Gann angle. So not a bad place to pick up some Visa shares either. PayPal. PayPal has liftoff. It's going into price discovery. 86.38 is going to be the next level for it. DoorDash. I invest in DoorDash. And we have a buying signal on the Ichimoku. So this is about as tight as you can buy on the Tengen-sen, and try the Ichimoku indicator. This is on the daily chart. So that's pretty cool. Lockheed Martin. Will there be war? That's what these are. That's what that tells you. Will there be war? There's gonna be war. Is there gonna be war? Like, I mean, this is just, it's ridiculous. Like, there's gonna be war. Oh, F. Well, you know, if the party that you think will cause the more war wins, then maybe buy Lockheed Martin. All right, so let's look at United Healthcare. This is like the one thing that was down for me today. Just can't get over this dang arc, can it? That's okay. I hold on to a big chunk of this because in the long run, it eventually catches up to the Qs. In the long run, it eventually catches up to Qs. And it does have a tendency to base for a while, which it did for like the last couple of years. So I have a feeling this is just the beginning of a larger move, but it happens over the course of quarters, not days. Actually, I want to look at the monthly because that's probably the more appropriate way to look at this chart. Okay. So yeah, we've established ourselves on top of this GAN angle, and it's gonna, we should be able to get to our fib level by February, and that would be 9%. 9% by like January. So that's not bad, is it? I mean, November, December, 3 months, 3% or 9% for 3 months. Yeah, I'll take that 3% a month. That's pretty good, I would say. So I do think that we're going to get that. And I think that this thing, it's now on this angle. So like, I think it's just going to grind higher. And it's going to be a pretty good, stock to hold, I think, for a while. Because, I mean, we did establish this right here. We lost it, tried to get over it, lost it, tried to get over it. I mean, it's got to hold. So that's really the key here. So, we'll have to keep an eye on this. But like this GAN arc into this should help us. It should help us hold these levels. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. We're in the arc. We just had to retest the bottom of it. And really by the end of the month, we need a green candle. Because either we're going up or we're not. We're either going up or we're not. And that's what this line is basically saying. We're either going up or we're not. And then, or we aren't until a much longer time from now. I don't know. What do you think? Are you bullish on Bitcoin in the near future? Why don't you tell me below? I want to take a look at XRP. Projecting out of the arc. So could we be coming down to 45 cents again? Potentially. Potentially. And I hope so. I hope so, because I want a lot of XRP before this thing does its thing. Which it will happen. Eventually. Eventually. You almost have to have faith, like a religion, in XRP, because it's just look at what it's done in the past. I mean, it's done crazy things, but that was like almost 10 years ago. But like every 5 years, it just does something crazy. And people are saying that this next move is going to be the big move. Like, but you could see like just the way things got so much more. Does it have another move like this in it? That's what we're all wondering. That is what we're all wondering. It would take 4 years, and you know what? Looks like we're overdue to me. But love me some XRP, I guess. Doge. Doge. Yikes. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. I know this was kind of like a wandering, sort of without structure, technical analysis, but I hope that you got some value out of it. If you did, if you could smash the like button, and then leave a comment below. What kind of content? What do you like about the content that you watch there? What did you get the most value out of? What could I focus on more? Focus on less? I'm looking for your feedback to grow my channel, make it better, and make your experience better. And in return, you could hit that subscribe button. That would be great. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I'm so close. It's been my honor to have you here. And with that being said, Risky Ryan